Welcome to the first episode of Hang Out with the Monkey of 2019, the official podcast of OddsMonkey, the #1 match betting service in the world. Joining me today are again Ricky from OddsMonkey.
Hiya.
And Phil from TrickyBet.
Hi.
All the very best to you both, guys, and all to the listeners and subscribers out there. So in this first episode, we're going to look forward to all the events in 2019, lots of markets and stuff to look at, lots of sporting events, lots of other things for us to discuss and digest. But the first big event of 2019 we're going to look at takes place next week or so, well it starts, is the Australian Open Tennis, one of the 4 Grand Slams. And Rick, as we always say, as we stress with the Tennis Grand Slam, tennis is one of the things to look at for match bettors, and the Aussie Open offers a good chance to start 2019 on a bright note. We're expecting a few offers for this, aren't we?
Yeah, hopefully. I say it's the first decent-sized event of the year, and going off previous big tennis tournaments, we could look at the 2 up being the 2 sets up being the main offer. You saw those few double winnings that were there previously. That there's not a lot or nothing yet available, but hopefully they'll follow suit from last year. So it should be quite fruitful.
And Phil, as we always say, we've got the offers, 2s open if your players winning, etc. Let's go over the rules before we go into the tennis match, which Ricky can look at maybe. The tennis is slightly different, isn't it, to a lot of other sports? You really have to make sure you hammer down on the rules and checking the small print.
Yeah, so we've said this a million times before, but it's always good for a reminder. The rules at the bookies and the exchanges don't match up all the time for retirements. So you could back and lay a player as normal at your exchange, and if the player retires, you might end up losing both bets. So you need, we've got them all on OddsMonkey. Just make sure the rules match up. If you don't, you need to Dutch to be safe, and that way you won't fall foul of any bookie exchange retirement rules.
And we've got all them features on the site, haven't we, Phil? The Dutching guides, etc. So people need to do that. Everything's there, isn't it, on the forum for the guys?
Yeah, we've got a full list of rules and if they match up and all that good stuff.
And there's other stuff as well, isn't it? Obviously, Rick, we've got the tennis matchup, but there's the 2s up on the tennis as well to look forward to.
Yeah, we'll have the tennis matchup set up once the offers come available. That'll have a link to all the retirement rules across the bookmakers and exchanges, so you can quite easily check whether they match up or not. But yeah, the software will be available for all members with all the offers on there to make it that bit easier to get the bets matched.
And obviously, we're going to look ahead now to our picks, but obviously, stressing the retirement rules, we have got the older players, the Murrays, Nadals, Serena Williams. They are getting older, the injuries still come, so we are emphasising, make sure you check these. You think it won't affect you, but it does, doesn't it, guys? So let's make sure. So let's get on to our picks for the Aussie Open. The men's, we discussed this off air, didn't we? It's back to the future, isn't it? We could be looking at the odds from the last 10 years for this. Novak Djokovic is a very, very short price here. Who am I going to go for? I am going for Federer. I think Federer will start the year in fantastic fashion. I think his good odds. You can get 11-2 on him. So I'd probably go for him more. I'm edging away from favourite. I may also have a cheeky little 50p on Andy Murray at 40-1 each way. Phil, who's going to light it up down under?
Well, like you say, and Djokovic is by far and away the heavy favourite for this. Even the likes of Nadal, you can get 7-1 on. I haven't been really following the tennis that closely, but that looks like good odds unless he's injured or something. So, but I think that's decent value. He's probably going to go far in the tournament and trade out of that further into the tournament for a nice profit.
And Rick, your mighty dollar is going on.
Yeah, trying to steer clear of the favourites. Put a bit of a wild card in. Got the ability, not got the temperament, but hopefully that'll come. Home tournament being Australian. Nick Kyrgios 40-1. That'll either be a total disaster or could eventually get his temperament right and keep his cool and go pretty far, hopefully. So Nick Kyrgios at 40-1.
And we'll let you have first dibs at the women's. Rick, obviously Serena Williams, she's going for a record, isn't she? Trying to level Grand Slam titles of all time if she wins here. Not as short as Djokovic, but she's a clear favourite. Are you in the Serena camp?
You know me, don't like favourites. Like to look for value elsewhere. And I'm going to go for another Naomi Osaka, who's currently best price 12-1.
And Phil, which ladies do you like to wonder?
I like Kerber. You can get 9-1 on Kerber. I think that's good value. It's weird how Serena's just a massive favourite again, same as the men's. But yeah, what's the point? Yeah, I like to get out of these once we get a few rounds in. So Kerber looks good value to me.
Yeah, I probably would back Serena, but again, looking for value. I don't really follow women's tennis too much, but Sharapova appealed to me at 40-1. So I'd probably go towards that. So again, everything you need to know about the Australian Open on the forum, on the site, please log in, check all the rules. Everyone's there to help, so please check it out. But you do need to get involved with the Aussie Open. So let's look at football, guys. We've had a great Christmas. Well, great for some, not so much for others. It's been up and down Christmas for your boys, Liverpool, Rick. As we discussed on the last one, we did say there was a bit of value in Liverpool. And since we were last on air, Liverpool are now favourites for the Premier League. Do you now see it the other way, that there's a bit of value in City there, Ricky, or do you think Liverpool are fairly secure in going for the title?
Well, secure, that's a strong word. They were a lot short, Liverpool a lot shorter before the recent match with City. I would have it pretty much 50-50 now.
It's not far away from that in the betting, is it?
Liverpool's like favourite, so using the 50-50, you've got, I think, City best price 7-5. So if I hadn't entered the market, I would probably be thinking City with a value now at 7-5. But I'm in a good position, so I would say now with no risk on Liverpool. So,
Phil, if you're starting fresh today, who'll be getting the money from you? It really, as Ricky says, it's really hard to call, isn't it?
It is. I mean, like you said, last time we spoke, I think Liverpool were 7 or 8-1.
Yeah, they were really cracking price.
That was amazing value, and kind of dismissed that at the time. But yeah, I think now they've lost a game, I think they might go on a little losing run now. I think they've got that in them. So yeah, I think City for me.
I think going out the FA Cup might be a blessing in disguise for Liverpool here. You got the Champions League coming up as well, and again for that, guys, isn't it? It's a straight battle at the moment. Well, it's strange, isn't it? Champions League, we've got City 18-5, and Liverpool are still quite a long way away from that market. So I think Liverpool are the value if we switch attentions to the Champions League. Rick, what you can get 11-1 even on Liverpool for that. I don't know if you agree. You think Liverpool are value for the Champions League? I do. I think there's some good prices. I think Man City at 11-4 is terrible value Champions League. So if we do turn our attention there, because we're kicking off the European action again soon, do you think Man City are too short, Rick?
Too short for my money at the minute. I agree. 11-1 Liverpool looks good, but if all's still going well in the league, I think they'll be more focused, perhaps, on the Premier League. So for me, if I was entering the market now for the Champions League, I think PSG at 8-1 are still a decent value bet there.
Yes, obviously, Man City being so short, Phil, it does offer some value in that market. I think Barca are not getting much talk at all, but they are second favourites around 92. Who would you be looking at? Do you think City too short as well?
Yeah, far too short, yeah. I still like Juventus. They're 5-1, 13-2 you can get. I think that's still cracking value.
Because you can't underestimate Ronaldo, the impact he's had there, can you? Exactly. He's been there, done it. And they've been so close to you, they haven't, Rick, recently, that, and they've added Ronaldo. He could be that little thing to take them over the edge, couldn't he?
Well, you could just look at the difference you've made to Madrid with him going. It's not the same team at all. Juventus, solid team. Bit of Ronaldo at the top to keep him sharp. Yeah, still a bit of value there, but between the two, I'll still go with PSG because I think if their front three play to how they can play, they can change games instantly against anybody.
Yeah, and we've got obviously let's not forget the Europa League as well. Here, there's some I think real value here. You can get 19-10 on an English team to win any European trophy. So you've got all the English teams in Champions League, the four shots there. And then you've got Chelsea and Arsenal in the Europa League, both the two favourites. So I think there's real value. I think we will see a European winner here, and maybe the first ever time we'll see Champions League, Europa League double. Phil, do you reckon there's a good chance of that?
No.
No?
No, not really. I don't see an English team in the Champions League this year. Just don't see it. Yeah, Chelsea look good for the Europa League, though. It's so hard to call. Some weird team always ends up winning it that you don't expect. But I think Chelsea, the way they're going in the league, they might put a little bit more effort into the
It's like United did, isn't it, Rick, where they went all out to get a top four. Because now, interestingly, on the Premier League, with United, the way they've come about, we've seen a real change in the top four market, because Chelsea are under real pressure now, aren't they? So they may take the Europa League quite seriously, so there won't be a bad price for that.
Yeah, I still think that eventually falls short. If I was looking at the Europa League now, I think I would probably have Napoli as favourites, and the 7-1 available for them, I think it's a decent value.
And obviously United, we talk about the turnaround. Let's quick look at their next manager market. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still not favourite to get this job. It's still Pochettino at 7-4. Ole Gunnar at 11-4, despite all the stories. For me, I still think 7-4 is not a bad price on Pochettino, even though he might come out again. Obviously, United, your favourite subject, Rick. Do you think anyone other than Pochettino is going to get that job?
Hopefully. And I do hope that Solskjaer does just enough to keep it. Hope I don't live to regret these words. But I'm hoping that Solskjaer can do just enough and then get the job and then get found out next year.
Yes. What do you reckon, Phil? That must be nailed on Pochettino, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, because Solskjaer's got a great opportunity here. Obviously, the players seem to have come out and started playing for him. Maybe they're just making a point that they didn't want to play for Mourinho. But if he continues like this for the rest of the season, how can they not give him the job?
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? It really is. But it's, again, something else we can look at. Some good prices available. Let's switch tack slightly. We've got some big events coming in 2019. Again, not far away is the Super Bowl. And we're down to the last 8 now. We didn't cover it too much at the start of the season. Kansas were my pick. I still think there's some great value out there. Indianapolis Colts. You still get good money on, like 10-1 or something. But the interesting thing with NFL guys this year has been the 14 points up. They've been going to 2 up, etc. And it's paid off quite a long way. The NFL really is getting the attention now of not just the punters but the bookmakers, Rick. Have you been paying much attention, Rick? And who would you pick for the Super Bowl? Give me a team, Rick.
Well, I think I went with the Patriots at the start, so I see no reason to change that. I'm not a huge follower at all yet. It is gathering momentum with the bookmakers and the public here, but not quite grabbed mine yet. But the 14 up, similar process to the 2 up has been quite fruitful, although I've not taken part in it personally yet. But it's proven within the community a nice little money earner. But to say to back something now, I'll stick with the Patriots at 13-2. I think the best prices.
Obviously, the rules again, Phil, are on site, aren't they, for the 2s up? Obviously, they differ slightly done between each sport. We had the darts over Christmas, didn't we? And we've got this, and we imagine maybe more events might get added to the schedule. So check on that. You like a bit of favourite back in Philly? You're sticking with New Orleans Saints as favourites?
Is that who I said? I don't think I said those last time. I'm sure I said the Patriots.
Patriots as well. Yeah, I think you both did. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just looking at the odds now. I think the Eagles are like 21. Or 22s you can get on there. Didn't they win it last year? Yeah,
they're the defending champions. They came through a really tough game at the weekend at Chicago. They've got a tough run to the final, but it's what in the NFL, all the top teams have just had a week off. And they don't all react very well to that. Whereas you've got the teams like Philadelphia and Indianapolis, they're coming into it not fresh, but they're coming on the back of victories. So it can be very hard to read. It really can. So it might not be a bad price at all.
I mean, of all the teams remaining in, they're like the longest odds. So for the defending champions, it seems like good value to me. But I don't know much about the sport, I must admit.
Well, we'll change tack slightly then. And let's change tack completely for now, guys. Another massive event coming in March. Completely different, Brexit. Now, we're not asking for opinions here. However, Huge betting markets available on this. Millions are being gambled on this throughout. Obviously, we're not asking you for opinion, but the odds at the moment are 4-7 for the UK not to leave at the end of March, which is a big turnaround, and 8-5 for us to leave. I think 8-5 to leave, guys, is a very good price. Rick, thoughts? If you're of the opinion, do you think 8-5 is a good price, just purely to leave?
Who knows? On the face of it, you think it would be, but again, it won't be taking any of my money. Again,
because politics, hasn't it? For politics with the Brexit vote itself and the Trump winning, there were some of the biggest upsets in the betting markets of the last decade, haven't they? They've been massive upsets, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they seem very determined to see it through in the government, but I think there's a lot of appetite now for it to go and have another vote on the subject, and so I just don't know what's going to happen. But like you say, it does seem good value because at least the government is saying, yeah, we're definitely going to do this. So.
Yeah, that was the thinking, definitely. Right, so let's get it back to normality, a bit of sport. The summer ahead, we've got so much to look forward to. There's the Nations League, there's the Women's Football World Cup, there's the Ashes, Cricket World Cup, Rugby World Cup. Where do we start? Let's have a quick look at the Women's World Cup here. Looking at the odds, this is one, guys. Don't know if you agree, Rick. I think the bookmakers might throw a few interesting offers our way here. There's not many big events this summer for the men's, etc. I know the Nations League is on, but it's only for a few days. The Women's World Cup, do you think it might be an interesting watch bookmaker-wise, Rick? That might throw a few interesting offers. It's one to keep an eye on, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, we'd hope so. As you say, with there not being another main tournament going on, and women's football is on the rise, you'd hope there might be a few tempting offers out there to get involved with.
Yeah, so I would say keep in touch on the forums, guys. We'll keep up to date, and the guys in the office will be updating all that. England currently 4 favourites, 9-1. So we'll see where they come up on that. I'm not going to ask you guys for predictions on that, because it's a tough one. And talking of women, it could be the year of the Wonder Horse, the female Great Enable. She's looking to make it 3 pre-galactic triumphs towards the end of the year in Paris. This could be one, if not the greatest horse racing experience race of our lives here, guys. Enable is currently favourite, about roughly 4-1 across the market to win a 3rd arc. And it's a rare thing, this, because we don't get many flat horses kept in training, etc. So the public have had a chance to fall in love with her. Rick, do you think 4-1 currently favourite? This could, if she wins a warm race, etc., this could have real momentum. This could be one of the sporting events of the year, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be. Just best price 92 actually with 10bet, and I think that's giving you some decent value there. You've got to look at who's going to beat it, and I would struggle at the minute to find something that would. So yeah, 9-2, currently best price, and you say to perhaps, well, that's only going to go one way.
And with Frankie on board as well, Phil, this horse, I joked pre-show, it could be up for Sports Personality. Yeah, if this wins on Frankie, what a brilliant way to sign off his career. I really do think this could be the sporting occasion of the year.
Yeah, unbelievable if it comes off. It's such a rare thing, like you say, that it almost seems impossible that it'll happen. But if it does it make the greatest horse of all time?
Quite possibly, isn't it? Because all the colts, I said, they all get put off the stud, don't they? Like Frankel, etc. They all get withdrawn and sold on, don't they? That's the thing, the difference between, we have Cheltenham, we have our love of Cheltenham, primarily, isn't it, guys? Because we can follow horses for up to 10 years. And that's why they have the fan base. I think that's why Cheltenham and National Hunt is so popular, because you have your favourites, whereas with Flat you don't. So I think Enable is breaking that boundary. And obviously we will be covering all these big horse race events towards each one. And we'll have a special on Cheltenham as always. Let's switch. Cricket. It's a big year for cricket this year, guys. We've got the Cricket World Cup and the Ashes. Quick look at the betting on this. The Ashes, is there any much for match betting, guys, on the Ashes? Do we tend to get anything around the big events for this, Rick?
Nothing big.
Might get some, revolving around specific individual players, or if say, but off the top of my head, I can't remember anything unique for the Ashes. But I think they'll be player-based or team-based refund type offers with those. So yeah, just to keep an eye out as we get closer to it, and we'll have everything on site and all the guides and that. But until it's closer, there's not really much to go from, I'm afraid.
No, and the Cricket World Cup as well, Phil. Probably the same again. We'll have to just wait and see to see if they can come up with anything. With it being a shorter, the one-day game, it might be. It's hard to. There's no real two-up opportunity on cricket, is there, to do anything really?
No, like historically, there's not much, but it's going to be a bit of a quiet summer, so you never know. It
is, and obviously looking at the Cricket World Cup, it is in England. In case you didn't know, and England again, very short price favourites for this, unbelievably. 9-4, 2-1. They are believed to be the best one-day side in the world at the minute. But Bill, I know you said before that they seem crazy low price at the minute for the Cricket World Cup, given some of the talent elsewhere.
Yeah, it seems too low. England always managed to mess the cricket. I can't see it myself. Don't follow it that closely, but I normally do for the World Cups and stuff like that. But they've been favourite loads of times, and they always fall short by a long way. Not they don't just get to the final and lose, or it's like they've got out in the first round or something. So not for me.
The Cricket World Cup's really hard, and for me, Rick, I think the value I can say Australia as long as 2-1 for the Ashes alone, 6-1. I know it's very it's not very patriotic, but I quite fancy an Australian double here.
Australian Ashes and World Cup double.
Yeah, 2-1, 6-1. I think that looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, I think Australia value 2-1 for the Ashes, but I still think on the one day, I still think we've got a good favourites chance, and the current 5-2. I know I don't normally like favourites, but I think 5-2 England home turf, and we our one day, we're back quite deep, and we've got players who can on form take most games away. Then I think 5-2 coming on. I'm quite tempted with that, and I think that's still got a bit of value in it.
And looking towards the end of the year, talking about favourites, there probably won't be as big any favourite anywhere than New Zealand for the Rugby World Cup. And again, I do think, guys, there might be a possibility for a 14 up in this. There might be. I think the bookmakers might be tempted on the Rugby Union to do something like NFL, similar style. But we'll have to wait and see. But around about evens New Zealand for the Rugby World Cup, it's almost impossible. Phil, isn't it, to look past the All Blacks for the Rugby World Cup?
Yeah, definitely, especially the way they're playing at the moment. It's crazy. You can almost say that that's over already.
Well, it's not bad. If you've got the money there to say you have, Ricky, evens isn't a bad bet, is it?
Odds again 6-5. So it's difficult to look past them. You try and you look down and you think who can, but it's who's going to beat them, and you couldn't come up with anybody with any real kind of optimism. So the odds against, I feel still there's a little bit of value there.
Yeah, so we'll have to look forward to that. Obviously, the Six Nations and stuff. We'll have separate shows covering all these big events. But we thought that'd be a nice look ahead for the year. So, guys, we'll be back in February. We're going to look towards other things. We've got the Nations League, obviously, coming in the summer, so we'll talk more in depth then. Big summer ahead, and we've got the Oscars coming next month as well. So, but we thought we'd cover a few bases today, and we hope that's helped. Remember, the Australian Open tennis is on now. The guys are available to help on the forum, Ricky and the boys. So please check them out. Thanks for joining us again, and we'll be back early in February.